So I just wanted to start off by saying what I do and what economic development does. So a lot of people think we deal with numbers all day and sit in the office, and that is not, it's not really the source of it. We are part of the city manager's office, so we're part of the executive office here in City Hall, and you can see the chart. The City Council really is the driving force of policy, and then we have our city manager. And these are a few things that we do here in economic development. The foundation of economic development is really growing businesses and fostering growth with local entrepreneurship. That's the founding, our founding principles. And when you really get down to it, my job is to increase the number of sustainable wage jobs here in the city and increase sales tax. So, which is pretty hard to do. We do this a variety of ways, and you can see some of these ways here on the screen. But what you will see is our primary goal of what we do is we like to connect. We are connectors, and so if you, as a business owner, if you have a question or you need help with something, I may not know exactly how to help you, but I can connect you with someone who has resources who can. We also, as part of economic development, we manage the city's social media efforts. And social media is a big part of how we connect and also how we promote ourselves as an agency, how we build our brand, how we want people to perceive us as a city. And really that is relating to businesses as well. So a common, in preparation for this presentation today, I thought about what are the most common questions business owners ask of our department. And it really was these 4 questions. You need help with permitting, you don't know where to go if you have a storefront, you have a business idea and you don't know where to start, you have a startup business and you need assistance with that, and you want to promote your business. I know also part of this presentation is how do you do business with the city in terms of how do you become a vendor. Before I go into the presentation, how to become a vendor, we are part of Planet Bids. It's an online permitting system, and so to become a vendor is easy as registering in Planet Bids on the city's website. You can do that actually right now. For those vendors or services, let's say, for example, I work with a lot of photographers and videographers, let's say. That's in my department. How do I pick? It's really through relationships. And congratulations to you for showing up and starting to create relationships, because as a someone who works for the city, you meet a lot of people, and it's the relationships, is that one-on-one that makes an impact, and really, for me, it's remembering people. And so that is the underlying core, is relationships. So just to kind of highlight on each of the questions. So if you have a storefront here in town, if you have a brick and mortar business, and you have any questions, relating to permits, signage, trash, you have a problem with homeless, any sort of question, where do you go? The city has what we call the planner of the day. And this person is designated kind of on call, if you will, to answer the public's questions. So you can walk in, you can literally walk into City Hall right now and ask for the planner of the day, or you can give them a call. They are required to call you back within 24 hours. And any questions that you have, they will answer for you, or they will connect you to someone who has the answer. So any questions you have about City Hall, any complaints, you can start with the planner of the day. And if you still need assistance, contact me. Just contact me. I have my phone number and my email. It's probably easier to email me because I'm out and about and I can just answer on my phone. But contact me. I am your business liaison to the city. I will forward you your email on or your message on to the right appropriate person in City Hall to help you answer your question, or the right agency person. So if you have a problem with Edison, for example, we can connect you to that person. So if you have a business idea and don't know where to start, even if you have an existing business and are struggling with one portion of your component, the city partners with the Small Business Development Center, the SBDC. We're actually a financial sponsor, and they are housed out of a city facility, our former city hall in the business park area. And they offer, a ton, a ton of resources. And what I really like about the SBDC is they work with professionals. So these are not just volunteers that are, hey, I'll volunteer my time. I used to do this 100 years ago, I'll volunteer my time. These are paid professionals who are in the industry, and it's industry specific. So if you have a problem with marketing, you're actually going to be in touch with a marketing specialist. If you need help with funding, you're going to be in touch with lenders or people who specialize in lending. So it's very targeted. Many businesses in town, all different types, from wineries to hairdressers to coffee shops, have used SBDC, and it's all free. It's no cost. They offer free one-on-one business counseling. So this is our number one tool that we use as a city. As a city worker, I am not going to give a business advice. That is not my area of expertise. I can advise you on City Hall, and I can connect you. For business advice, I'm going to refer you to Paul Nolta and his SBDC team. I can't reiterate this enough, how important and what a great free resource the SBDC is. I just included a screenshot of they offer so many webinars and tailored classes that are all free. Right now, they're virtual, hoping to get back to in-person. They're all virtual, but this is just a snapshot of the type of classes that they offer. So if you have a startup business, I refer you to the city's business incubator. It's called the DVBE2. And this is a picture of it, and this is actually our old city hall. We moved into this building in 2010, but prior to moving into this building, we were here in City Hall on Business Park Drive, and it's about 35,000 square feet, 2 stories. So can you imagine moving from a 35,000 square foot building to nearly 100,000 square foot building here at City Hall? And so in 2010, we had this building, and the city council decided that they wanted to invest in our local businesses. So they turned our old city hall into a business resource center. So this is where the SBDC is housed. And this is where, when we get back to in-person classes, this is where many of the classes are held. And the other half of the building is a business incubator. And you can, if you have an innovative business, you have to have a business plan. By the way, the SBDC can help you with your business plan. And you're a young startup company, you can rent out a workstation or an office at a minimal fee. I think a workstation is about $100 a month, and then an office is about, ranges from $300 to $400 a month. Some of the logos that you see are some of the companies that are in there. They naturally are software development tech companies. Enzian Labs does motocross analytics, and then MC3 does software development, and Vinduino, they monitor soil moisture levels, which is important for our grapes for the wineries, and it's all electronic. It's pretty cool. But these are some of the startup companies that are housed out of the TVE2. They provide great synergy and play off one another. So that is the TVE2. And then a lot of times business owners ask me, well, how do I promote myself? How do I become known? Of course, the first one is connecting, and that is huge. And how do you do that? Well, the city doesn't necessarily, we can't promote every business. We'd love to, but we can't promote every business, and that really isn't our function. And so we are partner with the Chamber of Commerce. If you're not a member of the Temecula Valley Chamber of Commerce and you do business in the city, you should be. It's a very, very sophisticated chamber. There's probably near 1,000 members, and they range from CEOs to pachanga to one-person marketing businesses. It's a very involved business association, and it's very professional. And they do a lot of great work, and I highly recommend it. So if you want to promote your business, join the chamber. I was actually, before this meeting, I was over at the chamber at their membership meeting, and gosh, there must have been nearly 50 people there connecting. The chamber also has a side hustle, I guess. A side hustle is called Shop Local, and if you've seen this logo, especially on social media, earlier this year they had a billboard on the 15 freeway, and they wanted to promote Shop Local and the importance of shopping local, but not necessarily have it tied to the chamber, because they wanted non-chamber members to be involved. And so they created this Shop Local campaign. It's mostly on social, but if you see that logo, it's also, you know, that the Chamber of Commerce is backing it, as well as the city. And that is a brief recap of really how to do business with the city. Most of all, I would say, if I have any advice, is about connecting and getting your name out. Coincidentally enough, we have our Stay the City address tomorrow, and I hope some of you are going. And it's a large business event. It's at Pachanga, and I think the head count is about 650 business professionals attending. Pre-COVID, we would get in the 800s, but it's an hour-long presentation, and we have 4 different videos going on, and one of the videos we used they're all local, but we used a new video person to produce one of the videos for us. And I've known this video company, for probably 5 years. We met through the chamber, and he has been wanting to do business with us for a long time, the whole 5 years. And finally, when the right project came up, I said, I think you're the right project for this. Let's partner and get this video done. And so it's really a testament, an example of connections and making that effort. And we may not use you, or a vendor or the county or whatever may not use you for a certain project, but they'll use you eventually. It may take 5 years in this person's case, but if I have time, I'm able to answer any questions if you have any. Yes. It is not virtual, it's in person. and you can contact the Chamber of Commerce. I would do so if you want to attend in person. I would do so sooner than later because there's food involved and they have to give the head count to Pechanga. But if you can't make it tomorrow, the city always replays the State of the City address. It's a couple weeks later because we do a lot of editing and it's a professional edit. So we do replay or rebroadcast the State of the City if you can't make it in person. And that's it. Oh, yes. The replay. So if you live within the city limits and you have cable, it's on channel 3. If not, the city has a YouTube channel and it will be on the City of Temecula YouTube channel. All the past State of the Cities are already on there, and it takes a few weeks because our staff has to edit it, but we do get it on there, so that's where you can find it.
So I work for a nationwide nonprofit, and we're trying to establish a foothold in the area. Would offices like yours or the chamber, I should speak for the chamber, but be open to helping a nonprofit?
Yes, so if you are a chamber member, for an example, as part of the State of the City address, there is a nonprofit expo. And so we have, probably about 30 nonprofits having tables set up to promote their nonprofit. So, and that is a perk of being a chamber member. So an example for you, I would say you probably want to join the chamber, and that would have been a perk for you to be in front of 650 business professionals. All right. Well, thank you. And if you have my contact information if you have any other questions. So I hope you have a great day.
Christine, let me present you with our Skin in the Game Champion Award.
It's very nice. Oh,
Thank you.
It's very nice. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Banner is learn. See, I'm backwards. Learn, connect, right? If you're not connecting and you don't realize there's a 3-5 year track like the videographer, then you're here because I'm going to step through the process because I'm a veteran-owned business. And my first opportunity was Fort Bragg, North Carolina, and Eglin Air Force Base, Florida, for a $7 million contract. Federal. I'm here in California, and this is what I'm going to speak to, is the city looks for local. You're here in the city of Temecula because I live here, I moved my business here, and I want more traffic in Temecula. Because the vendors need what I did not provide you today, and that was with coffee. So you got to go across the street, look at Old Town, and buy some coffee. Because I didn't bring any, because I was trying to do two things. Satisfy COVID, and then push you next door, okay? Excuse me? The Never meeting, we got Pro America is going to sponsor the coffee because we created a relationship, right? So let me put on my eyes. Everything's down here. Now I emailed everybody, this is my paperless environment. And the first thing you see is the most valuable commodity in the world today is information. True or false? Okay? What COVID-19 has done, sadly, is taken some lives. And in their honor and memory, we need to step it up to build this economy even better by sharing information. SBDC is an SBA-funded organization, And if you've never talked to an SBDC, then you ought to, because the cost to communicate with them is how much? Zero, okay? Allocate your funds in a business model that's going to give you more inventory and more hires, and at the end, more profitability. And that is what we're here today to secure and create jobs opportunities. So what I want to do is talk about pain points. COVID-19 has created a lot of pain points for all of us, right? Now, I'm old and getting older, and I have joint pains, okay? So physically, I endure that. But business-wise, and I've been in business for 21 years and sponsor the Southwest, a nonprofit, and it's important to me to say that I want to be able to distribute information at no cost to anybody worldwide, and we do. We got the video going live right now. But the biggest thing right now is revenue loss. I had a 40% plus revenue loss. The government stood up, county and the city, I think, connected with the county and the federal to provide the payroll protection plan. Who applied for a payroll protection plan? Okay. A lot of small businesses didn't do that because they didn't have a sound payroll system. Independent contractors, as long as you had proof of a payroll, they were going to give you 2.5 times your payroll. And then later on was forgiven. That's working capital at no cost, because the pandemic certainly has closed down, as Christine said. We're the first one since the pandemic. We haven't done this for 2 years, so we're excited that Temecula said, okay, let's make it happen. We have 74, 76 registrants, but we're going live, so if they can't show up, they won't miss this information. So there was 2 rounds of the PPP. Round 1, I applied for, got forgiven. Round 2, I applied for, and I'm waiting for the system to forgive. All that is revenue back in the stream for me to hire new hires, which I did as a result of knowing that process. Who's familiar with the SBA EIDL? Anybody? Has anybody applied for the SBA EIDL? Okay. It's a 30-year unsecured 3.75% loan deferred to May of 2022. That model is taking your first year of 2020 and giving you no more than $150,000 for the first round. I applied it, I exceeded that, I got full. The second round was 2 years, 2019, 2020, max $500,000, and I applied for it and got it. The third round is up to $1 million. So if none of you guys are applying for that, you need to know where to go, and I'll show you in a second. The other thing, Christine hit the nail on the head, how to market your brand. Those chambers or other events like this one, this is about skin in the game. This is no cost to you to get involved and get the perks of knowing that we have a global network that you guys are going to be exposed to. You have this heavy-duty master device, okay? I remember when these first came out, 20 megabyte drives. Remember that, the PC, as big as this box? Only 20 megabytes. This has got 60 gigabytes, okay? I got a lot of information running through this. The workflow of national marketing is twofold. It could be paper, it could be Chamber of Commerce. But paper is now paperless. Now, I was talking to Callie Moore when she checked in, and she asked me she wanted me to give her business cards, which I took, but what did I do, Callie?
You got my number and text me some information.
What she said is, I have her information. So when I walk out of here, I don't need a business card, and I have what in the old days, you hope you didn't lose this business card, and if you were in the old days, you had about 100 business cards, right? And when you went home, you forgot what it was. So before you leave today, you ought to text each other, because that's how you gather information. That's a workflow. The Paycheck Protection Plan, I got links. I'm not going to walk through it, but if you go to the event, it's going to click you to this link here. Bandwidth is essential. I'm not going to speak to this, but if you have not gone there, definitely go back to the event and click the hyperlink, okay? The key thing, and I'm loving this guy here because he's taking pictures, but he's already got the picture in his cell phone. That's called a redundancy, okay? So be aware of your redundancies. Be aware of the resources. If you got my email, guess what you already have, okay? So think that through. I'm an analyst, and I look at the behavior of business owners and figure out how they're making money and how they're managing the waste management. Every business has a waste management department. Did you know that? Because you don't look at your redundancies, and those redundancies is a waste. So internally, you have to have a waste management plan to say, can we save 20 cents on coffee, what I did today, but you get to buy next door. So you got to think strategically on that process. This is the big one, okay? If you have not applied for COVID-19 EDO, seriously, apply. Because of the various types out there, there's some confusion, but here's the process in a nutshell. I have a payroll service. I drop the data. I have my online taxes at the end of the year, drop the data, and upload it to the SBA. The country is in a emergency disaster. True, false? And the SBA EDO is structurally designed to get us back out there and make new hires. So a lot of folks say, well, it's a loan. Working capital is either your money or OPM, other people's money. The tactic for a business owner is to secure that OPM at the lowest price point possible. Unsecured for the longest period of time. 30-year unsecured loan, now up to $1 million, okay? So when a business owner tells me I don't have the cash flow, I'm saying, little skin in the game. You know, go to the event, click on this link, and read this. Because if you're not reading that, something's wrong. This is probably the most powerful link you're going to get. We all look for leads. True enough? This is a B2B conversation. Has anybody been to this website? Anybody? Okay. And your name again?
Clam.
Clam. Clam has. How do you use this website, Clam?
I use it to shop customers. I can target the customers that I'm looking for.
Bingo.
It gives me all the information, name, telephone number.
So let's go to California. Who knows our congressional district here? What our number is? I don't know it offhand. Okay. Does anybody know your congressional district? But those are things you want to know, because let's say 52, wherever that takes us, okay? I think it's in San Diego somewhere. So I'm going to come down here, and I'm going to search, okay? Leads are either bought, so when you market, it goes to a targeted demographics, true or false, okay? So your hope is 10% of that research. So here you got this guy right here, okay? So I'm going to come up here using my technology, and I'm going to find on this web page, I don't know, let's call San Diego, okay? Well, it has 24 sands, so let's go Diego. Okay, so 24. So when I go there, it's going to go down this thing online. You don't need any back end, no server, because it's already publicly available, okay? So you can refine the search. Search again. Let's see, let me just back here, okay? And I'm not going to go through a lot, but you can see all the variables of this database. All the business in this country, and perhaps overseas. If you're not using this like Clam does, you're paying too much for your leads, or you're marketing too much for your leads. Because these are all business, mind you. But again, this is a business discussion, right? Christine talked about videographer. We are one. Yes, sir.
Can you go back to that spreadsheet again? One thing that really got me, because you can't, when you do your searches, you can't save it.
Not true, okay?
But if you click on it and drag it across.
Not true. You can dump all this data, okay? You can dump all the data, okay? If you go down on the bottom and comma space, okay, or semicolon space, save email addresses for all. There's a lot of, if he's saying this, that means he has not lifted his sleeves and say, this has got to work. Because when you pull data electronically, you can dump data, okay? But we're not going to go there because you're going to go back and figure this out. Now, I'm going to come back here and drop this out, right? And I'm going to put, let's see here, zip code. 92590, right? Too many zeros? 92590. I got my glasses and I see 2 zeros in here, okay? Old age is great because you can make excuses why you did something wrong. Okay, so let's see who's in 92590. There you have it, okay? So let's go here, do a quick find. And I'm going to put Renteria, see if I'm in there. Nope. Okay. ALBER, okay. So I probably have a misaddress. Let's see here what this says here. Let's see if this comes up. And this is a good way to test your own business, because I popped up a different way. Let's see how I popped up last time. Again, I'm just going to do a couple samples here for you. Now see, as a business owner, I may have dropped off, right? I forgot how I searched myself last time.
Could be on a different page, you would just put your name.
There you go. Now he caught my error, right? Because he said it could be on a different page, right? And he's right. This is how easy technology can throw you for a loop, right? 92590. Oop. I want to be right there, right? What did he just tell me? Okay? That the error is always the end user, right? Because when I scroll on the bottom, he said it could be on a different page, there's 2 pages, right? And I'm supposed to be an expert in this stuff, and there we are, right? That's renovations. Okay, so I got to be on the last page, right? Okay, so I'm not here at all. And I may have myself on the wrong zip code. But instead of struggling with this, the point is, once you find the business and click on that, it gives you the SBA profile, okay? It tells you where they're located, all these variables here, and their product code, okay? So if you've never used this search, today you better start using it, okay? Because everybody on this list is going to sell something, but most importantly are going to buy something. So now I'm determined to find my business, right? So I'm going to do one last search to see how I'm listed on this, and I did this before I came here. So we're going to take off the zip code. And we're going to put let's see if this gives me, let's just say for the heck of it, right?
section where it says searching for a specific profile, and you can find yours directly.
Okay, where did you see that at?
Scroll down a little bit more.
Okay.
Scroll down.
Well, let me do this one here, services. Let's just do this one last attempt, okay? Because I don't want to spend too much time. This is homework for you guys, okay?
If you were searching for a specific
Yeah,
profile, you could just put your name in.
Yeah, I skipped all that. But having said that, let's get back to the topic because I want to get, Wayne's got a lot to talk about, okay? The reason I'm sponsoring this, I'm the founder of Southwest, and I funded Southwest since I retired on my dime. And what I do is I provide all these services to engage you because ultimately, if the small business doesn't have access to information, they're going to pay for it. And it's costly. And the idea is to have a Skin in the Game Summit, which is here. And that's December 15th. Before you go to that summit, you should have some training part, and that's what this day is today. Sadly, the mayor passed away, and we're going to honor her for her skin in the game. And every year we do this summit, we have what is called Meet the Buyers, correct? Now, the logic framework was come to the summit and meet the buyer, right? That could have been a draw. But why do you have to wait to December 15 or any given day to meet that buyer, correct? So what we're going to turn on this time around is we're going to create an appointment type meet the buyer. And I've been speaking to buyers. And instead of you waiting, you should connect with that buyer now. Who wants to connect with a buyer today? Raise your hand. Okay? Do you want to wait till December 15th to meet that buyer? I didn't hear you guys. Okay? And that's what you got to make change with information, the connectivity. So we're going to put up a calendar out there, and you guys have seen reservations for hotels, correct? We're going to create some platform like that and get all the buyers to register. I'm with the National University alumni, and I have an intern who didn't show up today from San Diego for a lot of different reasons. But they asked me if I want to be a mentor. So they put my name out there, and the intern clicks on it and makes an appointment with me. And we're connecting. Imagine if we do that with the buyers, correct? I don't have to get involved. The summit doesn't get involved. And you may or may not show up for the summit, but you may or may not get an opportunity to sell your product, right? So we're putting you on the front lines to say, don't wait for me to see Wayne. Wayne and I connect 24/7. He said, it's 4 o'clock. I go, so what? He says, I'm out for it. Okay, let's talk about why I call, right? Information relationship. You got to figure out how to connect with a buyer, but most importantly, you have to have skin in the game to figure out what the heck you're selling. And can you deliver it? COVID-19 put the state in peril. They were racing to get product. And I know Dalton Jackson started selling those products, correct? Correct. The state could not find enough of us, so they got to buy big. So they just launched the emergency database, right, Wayne? Are you in the emergency database?
We're in the process.
Okay. He's in the process. It took me 20 minutes, okay? Because it associates your supplier number with your interest to register. That's it. You're done. So when he says he's in the process, they launched this about a month ago, right? So he's telling me straight up, it's taken a month to get through that process. Now, he brought his team, and I'll be the first one to give you guys a hard time because I'm a business owner. And if you're waiting to apply, that's too long. I get pings 24/7 from across the globe because we're a global organization. And it's all right here, okay? It's manageable and it's efficient. So we're going to have the Marine Corps band perform at the ball. At the ball. Think about November 10th. At the summit. Who has not heard the Marine Corps band perform? Raise your hand. Okay? It's an experience. We're going to create Meet the Buyers before December 15th. These banners, for anybody that pays an exhibit, I'm going to sponsor these banners to you guys, one per table, okay? So this is the conference center. And you can go and click. I'm just clicking so you can see everything I do is a click away because I want you to be efficient. So having said all that, this is our skin in the game. You just seen us give one to Christine. Every exhibitor will get it because that's skin in the game. And I buy these plaques from a veteran-owned business out of Wisconsin because he's a veteran-owned and he's a supplier. And I want to build his business, and he's in the Midwest. How did I meet him? Just like I met you guys. But the difference is, I see your face. I've never seen his face, okay? But I trust his product and services. So I want to encourage you all to think B2B, connect, like Christine was saying, and figure out how do you penetrate a market with the least dollar out of your pocket. And it's all right here. And if you have navigated, and you guys got maybe 10, 15 emails from me, correct? You're going to say, stop, right? If you're a business, you got to have a means to filter that email. It says, okay, this is Al. And you can say, when this email comes in with Al stuff, put it over here. Because what that does later is say, okay, what's Al saying repeatedly? And what he's saying is you get it repeatedly because I know you haven't read the first email, right? In the business world, you have to figure out a way how to manage your leads. And if you're going to knock on Clement's door, he's ignoring you, do you walk away? No, because he's probably busy. So you ping him 1,000 times until he says, stop it. Now that I got your attention, here's what I got to offer. Because what he should like is your tenacity to say, I have a good product and you're a good buyer. That's business. But if you're soft-hearted and not tenacious, you're going to walk away from understanding the framework to get your product in front of somebody, as Christina was saying, because it can take up to 5 years. Now, I talk about that $7 million contract. I retired in 2000, got it in 2006. 6 years for me. But I was doing what she was employing, is connect, learn, secure, and create. As a result, I can afford to do this stuff and donate to the Southwest as a total volunteer organization. So you all, and I see these kids here, you guys need to realize what we do will be beneficial to those 2 or 3. 2, okay, 2. And you have to understand that our purpose in life is to build an economy, a great nation, so our children's children can be prosperous. Would you agree or disagree? Okay, I'm done because the rest of the time goes to Wayne. I'm here to provide you a no-cost information service because if you're not doing what I do 24/7 off this, something's wrong with that picture, and I can't just stand by idly to say, you know, enough's enough. Any questions from any of you? Okay, so thank you for your time. My purpose was just to inform you what's available to you at no cost. And if you're not navigating, and I'm going to hit Dalton Jackson one more time because he spoke at one of our summits. And for me to hear him say, not yet, and the product he sells, what do you sell, Dalton?
Personal protective equipment.
Is that in high or low demand? We're all wearing it, right? And the state, one of many are going to replicate that. The first thing he should have done, the day it came, when did you get that email, Dalton? What should he have done the moment he got that email? Anybody? Because we want to give Dalton a little push here, right?
Thank you.
Okay? It's an easy application. And he's a key person because he's a veteran. And he went from product to product. And then COVID came in and he was in high demand. And he still is. Okay? So without any further ado, Kim, can you introduce our next speaker here?
What application are you talking about? I missed what application you're encouraging me to sign up for.
Dwayne's going to cover that, okay? That's a state thing. But the state had a problem looking for us, so he's asking all the state vendors to go into an emergency database. When you register on that, that's the first list they look for to satisfy an emergency, okay? And if you didn't get it or got it, don't worry, you got my email, you got my text, right? I'm here 24/7, trust me. So I don't have time to shave, okay? All righty, it's all you.
Come on. Okay, where are we? Oh, there we go, yeah. There we go. Let me get situated here, since I have your undivided attention. Okay, anyway, my name is Wayne Gross. I'm a business outreach liaison with the state of California. I've been doing this for 13 years now, so I fake it very well, okay? So the first thing I want to do, and this is the most loaded question I ask you today. If you are certified as a small business or a disabled veteran, I'd like you to stand up. Come on, don't be shy. Okay, now, here's the hard question. I want you to remain standing if right now you could recite your supplier ID number. Now be honest. Can you recite it? Sit down if you don't. You gotta, if you have to ask, sit down because you really don't know it. Okay, you saw basically the room stood up, right? Look how many know it. Okay, you can sit down now. I'm making a point. That supplier ID number is your way into our system, Cali Procure. You need to know it. So you go home and you memorize it, frontwards, backwards, okay? It is so important to know your supplier ID number. So, let's see. Okay, so here again, this is my contact information. waynd.gross@dgs.ca.gov. And my phone number is 916-375-4339. I am your atypical state worker. What I mean by that is I'm available 24/7, 7 days a week, Monday through Friday. And I'm of the philosophy of KISS. If you're old, you know the expression, keep it simple, stupid. Okay, and that's my mantra, okay? The only dumb question is the one you don't ask. And I guarantee my life, it will not be during my work hours of Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. You'll be sitting on a Monday night with your spouse, your partner, watching Dancing with the Stars. Did you see it last night? Villains, right? Anyway, that's another story. Anyway, and so that question comes up, right? You've got my phone number, okay? Call me. You got my email. Mail me, okay? Don't be surprised if I say yes to the response to your question, or we need to talk. Call me tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. That kind of thing, okay? So I don't shut my phone off until 9:30 when I go to bed. So, okay? And don't be surprised if you get an instant response. I'm not like my peers. You know, oh, it's, in my case, 4 o'clock. Oh, it's 4:01 and you call, right? And just let it ring to go to voicemail. That's not me. Of course, my wife bitches at me. It's, you know, you've ended your tour. And I'm going, yes, dear, but this is a small business and it's important. And I listen, I tell my wife, just talk to the hand, dear. You know, I've been happily married for 47 years. So, anyway, so you've got my email. It's waynd.gross. It used to be just wayne.gross. But 2 months ago, I had to get a new email because for the last 6 months, I got hacked 5 times. And so after 18 years of having wayne.gross at DGS, they changed it. They added my middle initial. So it's waynd.gross. So, boy, do we got a lot of crap to talk about today, right? We're going to talk about the Small Business DVB program. We're going to talk about the business centers, state certifications, the benefits, the registration certification, keywords, the UNSPSC, that is the United Nations Specialty Products, Specialty Codes, current bid solicitations, past purchases, the advocates, the California Multiple Award Schedule, whatever that is, CUF, commercially useful function, and end it with the emergency registration, okay, with what Al was talking about. So, let's go back one. Okay, the state has two goals. We have an aspirational goal of 25% for small business, okay? Notice I say aspirational. We try like hell to get that 25%. And we have a mandatory. It is in the statutes that we get at least 3% disabled veteran, 3% goals. So, last year we spent $12 billion, that's with a B, $12 billion worth of contracts. Unfortunately, we only got 23.7% for small business, and we exceeded the DVBE 3.8. We have exceeded the DVBE the last 10 years, okay? So we're in it for you guys. Yes, sir?
My name's Griffin Forsyth. We've spoken before. Wondering if there's any talk of increasing the DVBE mandatory spend.
Excuse my French, but hell no.
Okay.
Because the state of New York has their own program, and they've got a 6%. I guarantee my life they will never attain it.
And they're trying to raise it to 10.
Yeah, and it's bull. You know, they think, that people are going to use DVBs more. Okay, it's okay. Out of the 22,000 certified small businesses and DVBEs in our database, 2,000 are DVBEs. That's it. Yeah, you see where I'm going with that. So, the 3% is realistic, and like I said, we've exceeded it every year, below 4%, but still, we're talking 336 million. If you're a DVBE, you'd like just as much of it, right? Anyway, and the reason that we didn't meet our, yes, Al?
And the valid point I want to address is the reason not, and the reason we have this is not enough of us are registered.
Correct, yeah.
Volume demands increase. So if our volume supports 3.8, you would not want to go 5 because there's not enough volume.
Right.
And he's going to hit up on that. So all of us should get more veterans to register with the state, which
Disabled veterans.
3.8 to go up.
That's correct.
Federally, nationwide, there's not enough of us in the inventory. And that's why I gave Dalton a hard time, because the more of him in the emergency database now, it's a incentive for others to follow his path. Because if the inventory is not there, and it only supports 3.8, what makes it 10% is we all collectively have registered with the system to say, we got a 10% database, we better go with 10%. So the answer to his question is it's only going to go up if we do something about it. Check?
Okay, thank you. Anyway, the reason that we didn't meet the 25% are two little things that have happened. One of them, COVID, right? And the other are the fires, okay? And so at the very end, I'll be talking about the emergency registry in more detail. And it's a totally different application than Cali Procure. So, the state has 3 certifications. The first one is small business. The second one, which was created, it's been 2, this January, it'll be 3, I believe, for public works, and the disabled veteran business enterprise. So, the KISS principle is alive and well in our requirements. It must be independently owned and operated. I hate the second one. Cannot be dominant in your field of operation. What the hell does that mean? You know what that means? There's competition in what you do, okay? But they can't say that because that is directly from the statute. And so the statute lives. So we have to say that phrase. This is a California program. We do not want any of the riffraff from Oregon, Washington, Nevada. This is our program here. And so the owners and officers must be part of California. And for a business with 100 or fewer employees and have an annual or gross annual receipts of 15 million or less over the last 3 tax years. Now, if you're a startup, okay, the nice part about our system is you can get certified. With the feds, you have to have at least 2 years before you even can be considered. So startups, you can do it. And if you happen to be a manufacturer, it's 100 or fewer employees. Now, is there anyone who thinks they're a manufacturer? Good, because I was going to tell you to call our certification office and ask them if you qualify to be a manufacturer, because what you think is the definition of a manufacturer versus what the actual definition from the state is can be 2 different things. So, with Public Works, the first 4 items are exactly the same. Independently owned and operated, can't be dominant in the field, principal office in California, and the owners or officers are domiciled here in California. The Public Works, though, it is a business of 200 or fewer employees, and over the last 3 tax years, the gross annual receipts cannot exceed an average of 36 million or less. Okay? Now, the Public Works, that's all it is, okay? So, do I tell you to get this if you're in Public Works? No. Okay? Unless you exceed the small business certification of 100 or fewer and the annual gross annual receipts of 15 million. Okay? Why? Because, if you're there at, 5 people and 6 million, it's going to be a while till you get up to over the 100 and the 15 million. Stay there because you will get all of the notifications. Once you get the Public Works certification, all you will get are contract information, construction stuff. Okay? So if you're small, just keep with the small business certification. Can you get both? Yes. I wouldn't waste the time, okay? So until you get to those numbers, the 100 and over the 15 million, keep with the small business certification. For DVBE, to be eligible, you must be at least 10% disabled. And you get that from the Veterans Affairs, okay? The feds, okay? Now, how many people are actually disabled veterans here? Okay. The people that raised their hands, are you already certified? Okay, so, okay. I ask people that because people will be disabled and, 5 years later they decide to get certified, right? Well, that certification letter has to be current within the last 6 months. And it's the way you get a current letter is to go to e-benefits, and it has it right there, and you'll get today's date on it when you print it out. So, okay, 10% service disabled. You have to be at least 51% owner. Now, it has here if you are an LLC, limited liability company. Okay, all the vets have to be disabled, okay? And I asked, whose idea was that? And do you want to know who it was? Your peers. The disabled veteran community wanted this, and so we created it. Okay, your company has to be set up as a limited liability company, okay? And if so, then all the ownership every one of them has to be a disabled veteran.
Doesn't that conflict with the 51% part?
No, because you could have you could be 3%, okay, and as long as the 51% only is for one person. If you're an LLC, that changes the rules. Let's say there's three of you who are all disabled veterans, then you can get qualified.
Can they bring on
No. For the wholly, the ownership of the company will be all 3 disabled veterans, not 2 and 1 who's not. Does that make sense?
I'm still a bit confused.
No, it's very simple. Okay, you and me and your friend here, we own the company, okay? I own 25%, you own 30%, and he owns the other 3%. But we're all disabled veterans. Okay, it all adds up to 100%, but we're all disabled veterans, at least 10% disabled. Okay? Now what's really confusing is the F word, and everyone knows the F word. Federal. I don't know what word you were thinking about. Oh. Anyway, so the feds have this thing called 0%, okay? And the state doesn't, okay? And what 0 means is I'm on active duty, I hurt myself, okay? And it's all documented, okay? But I'm alive and well. But 20 years from now, you know, my hip problem starts, hurting me. Well, just before I got out, I applied for 0% disability, knowing that, you know, in 20 years I was going to have a problem. Okay, that's how the feds work. Okay, we don't. You have to have that letter from the VA saying that you're at least 10% disabled. Now, here's the big thing, and this goes for the feds as well as the state. That first statement: the daily operations must be managed and controlled by those veterans, be it you as a 51%, or with the LLC, all 3 of you, 1 of you have to be involved in that daily operation, okay? Which only makes sense, right? If you're running the company, you better have control of it, right? So, okay, are there any questions on this? I periodically have questions here and there. Any other questions on that? If not, let's keep on going. The benefits. Okay, access to contract opportunities. How much does your certification cost you? How much did it cost you out of pocket? 0, yeah, can't beat that, right? There are leeches out there who will say, hey, for $500, I'll get you certified with the state. Okay, yeah, and they're out there, trust me, okay? And matter of fact, once I retire from the state, I am not allowed to talk about my situation with certification. I could become one of those leeches and charge you. I have to wait for 2 years. Okay? So once you get certified, you get put into our database called Cali Procure. And so if I'm looking for a painter, I put in keyword of paint, get a whole list, and you're right in there somewhere. Okay, if you have the word paint in your keywords, okay? There is a small business bid preference and a DVBE incentive, which we'll talk about. There's this thing called the Prompt Payment Act. You are guaranteed payment within 45 days of an undisputed invoice. For small business only. It does not include the DVBE certification. So the moral of the story is, if you qualify for both certifications, get them both. Okay, and there'll be another reason why you'll want that. And then our reciprocity partners. These are agencies throughout the state that honor our small business and or DVBE certifications. So, the small business preference. I love this. You have bidder A and B. Bidder A is not certified. Bidder B is certified. So, bidder A bids $100,000. Okay? Bidder B does 102. Just with that information, bidder A should win, right? They're the lower of the 2 bids, right? Now, this has to be written in the solicitation that there is a small business preference, okay? So, as the administrator, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 5% of the lowest non-certified bid. So 5% of 100,000 is 5,000. I now subtract it from the 102. Okay, now I'm at 97. Okay, now 100 for the non-certified, 97 for me, the certified. Who wins now? Right? the certified one, right? How much did that cost you as the certified bid? Nothing. This is one of the benefits, okay? Now, you win the bid, but you win it at the original $102,000. That's the best part about this all, okay? Now, are you going to know what's happening behind the scenes? No. Okay, so the moral of my story is when you put in that bid, you make sure that you've done your research, you've crossed your T's and dotted your I's, okay? So that you get the best bid that you're going to make money on, obviously. You're not in this just for the fun of it. Okay, and with the DVBE incentive, here again, it must be written in the solicitation, okay? And it can be up to 5%. Now, if, just to let everyone know that, the 3% DVBE goal is mandatory. Therefore, all solicitations, I repeat, all solicitations, formal ones, have to have a DVB requirement, okay? But what happens is the buyers will put in waivers because, as Al said, there aren't enough of you for that, whatever they're trying, to get you to bid on, okay? What I tell people is if you look at a solicitation, you read through it and it says waiver, okay? And so you look at, can you bid on it as a sub, for example, then you're okay on that. But if they say, no, you can't do it at all, I would request the paperwork and say, prove to me. I know for a fact there's at least 5 of us in the state, in the database, that could actually do it, okay? You want a result of their paperwork, okay? I say that because for DGS, guess who gets to do that? That's my job. So this is our website, www.caliprocure.ca.gov. I tell people, if you haven't done it, go home tonight and make it a favorite. That way you never have to type in caliprocure.ca.gov. And as you scroll down the page, there are 4 boxes. The top right one says Get Certified. And here is the certification, and we're going to scroll down. And we're going to look at the prompt payment thing. And you click on it, and it tells you all the information you need to know. Here again, it is only for the small business certification, and you are guaranteed to get paid within 45 days of an undisputed invoice, okay? What happens after 45 days, okay? A late fee is attached to your, if you were, let's say, going to get paid $10,000 was your invoice, and it went to 60 days, okay? So the system should automatically compensate you for 15 days of late fees, okay? And I believe right now the late fee is 0.0125%. So, and that changes all the time, based on financial stuff. But the thing that you need to know is that it should be automatic, okay? And do we pay on time? Hell no. Okay, we're the state, right? Did the feds pay? They're supposed to pay within 30 days. Do they pay all the time? Hell no. Okay? Unfortunately, there are agencies that are notorious for, not paying on time. I won't give you the list, but it's out there. Okay? And the whole thing is, at that 46th day, if that check isn't in the mail, you start calling. Okay? So here we're back at Cali Procure. We're going to scroll down. And this time we're going to find training and resources. And we're going to scroll down again. And we're going to go to the last heading for local contract opportunities. These are our agencies. They're called reciprocity partners. These are agencies that honor our small business and DVBE certifications. And you'll notice that it starts out in the Bay Area, goes into Sacramento, LA, and finally San Diego. You are so blessed living in or near San Diego because they have got so many. You've got the city, the county, the school district, the airport, and there's like 6 or 7 different ones, okay? Now you'll notice here under each one there's an underline, right? And that means it's going to take you to their registration page. And it tells you what they accept, okay? The only ones that don't accept the small business are in LA. One is their community college and another is their transportation system. But everyone else does the small business. Okay? Now this is for Bart, and this is so hard. And I'm being so ridiculously full of baloney here, because all you have to do is click the green button, register. Okay? What happens? You get certified with Bart, and then you open up an Excel spreadsheet, and you start creating a list of the reciprocity partners that you have. You're going to put their name, their supplier ID number that you have, right? Because that's how you are identified in their database. And then what you do is you go back to the agency, in this case Bart, go to their homepage. In the search engine, you either put in contracts or procurement. That will take you to their contracts page, which will list their buyers. And so you put their buyer's name, their email, and their phone number. So now you start getting a list of reciprocity contacts who you're going to contact, okay? Because it's not what you know, it's who you know. So at the very end of the list under San Diego are the utilities, okay? With all the agencies prior to this, there's 39. So you could get certified 39 more times, okay? And it's easy, it really is, if you want to do it statewide. Or if you just want to concentrate, let's say, in the San Diego area, you just get registered with those agencies, okay? Now, the utility companies are not reciprocity partners. However, they have this thing called the California Public Utilities Commission, CPUC, and they have a program. It's a supplier diversity program that includes women-owned, minority, DVBE, and LGBTQ+. Okay, so if you're one of those 4, and especially if you're a DVBE, you're already in this database. Okay? How's that? That's one of the things that we did. When you got certified as a DVBE, once a month, the CPUC downloads all the DVBEs into their database. Okay? Now, there are 29 of these puppies, AT&T, Comcast. If you want to get certified with them to do business, okay, you have to go to each one of them and get certified with each one of them. Okay? Yes, it can be tedious, but well, look, you're in it for the money, right? So a little bit of time can definitely help you. Oh, anyway, it has here, learn more. So you click that, and it says here, join our diversity program. Okay? And so they have a database called the Clearinghouse, of which as a DVBE, you're already in it. Highly recommend that you go into it and check 2 things. One is the contact information, okay? You want to make sure that it is good information. And the other is your federal employer ID number, your FEIN. I've been told that some people's FEINs are not correct. And you obviously want to make sure that they have accurate information. Any questions on this section? Okay. Cali Procure. How do you register your business, apply for the DVBE small business certifications, search for bids and contracts. It's free. And there's our website, caliprocure.ca.gov. And so we go to our home page for those who haven't gotten certified yet. And on the top right, it says login register. And it says at the bottom under login, it says new bidder registration. And this application is so difficult. It may take you 2 minutes if you're really dragging your feet, okay? Because it's not, it's minimal information, okay? So once you have successfully gone into the 5 pages, they're going to give you, an email is sent to you with your user ID and a temporary password. And the reason it's temporary is because the system is going to ask you information, and we're going to ask you for your tax returns. And so you want to make sure that you have your own personal identification and password. So the system forces you. So this is what it looks like. And you see here, got the user ID and my temporary password. So you just click on Login, eProcure Login. And you put that information in and log in. And it says, login has expired, continue. And so then you are forced into putting in your own personal email. The rules on that are standard, 1 uppercase, 1 lowercase, 1 number, and 1 special. And the special is hitting the shift and either 1 through 9, okay? So, I love to show this, okay? I forgot my password, okay? So, I'm sorry, but I don't know about you, but I've got like 5 or 6 passwords I got to remember, and it's like, okay, try this one. Okay, this one, add the exclamation mark. This one, add the exclamation mark and a question mark, whatever, you know what I mean? So if you do forget it, you click that, you put in your email that you're using for your account, and they will send you another temporary one. Here again, the system will force you into putting in a private one, a personal one. Okay, so now we're going to get started because it says no certification record, okay, and you hit get started. And then you're going to click on Get Started Application or Reapply. For those people, you know that your certification is good for 2 years, okay? Both certifications. And so that when you click that, you have all of these options. Small business public works, DVBE, if you're a nonprofit for veteran services, and nonprofit recognition. Sir, what do you do? What's your nonprofit?
It's Veterans Yoga Project.
Okay, so it will be a nonprofit veteran service agency?
Yes.
Okay, that will be a recognition. It will not be a certification. Okay, and why do you do that? Okay, because of the payment. The only thing that you are guaranteed is to be paid within 45 days. If you're not, you get that late fee added to your check. Okay? Here again, it is a recognition, not a certification. Okay, now we get to talk about the UNSPSC codes, not to be confused with the NAICS codes, the Fed codes, North America Industry Classification System. So, the NAICS codes are a 4-level code, okay? And the first level is the first 2 numbers. Level 2 is the first 4 numbers. Level 3 is the first 6 numbers. And then level 4 is the 8-digit total. We are going to be dealing with level 3 and level 4. Level 3 is very easy to identify. It is what we call the parent code. It ends in 00. Okay? And so on your California profile, and I'm going to do a live update on a profile, okay? And what's going to happen is on your California profile that the world sees, you only put the parent codes. We do not want the 8-digit codes, okay? On your private account called notifications, which I'll go over, we want the parent codes and all of the 8-digit codes. Because if I'm a buyer and I load up an 8-digit code for that solicitation, if you have that 8-digit code in your notifications, you will get an email from the system saying there's a solicitation out there. Okay? If you have that 8-digit code on your California profile, it doesn't mean crap, basically. Okay? And like I said, I will show you how that all works. So, okay. Any questions on this section? There's a lot of information here, okay? And hopefully it's just review for some of you. Some of you, I know it's brand new. So, okay, we're going to be talking about bid solicitations, okay, live solicitations, and for to show you where the old contracts are and why would you want to know about old contracts, it's going to tell you the agencies that actually bought whatever you're trying to sell. Okay? And that's called SCIPRS, State Contract and Procurement Registration System. So, we go to our favorites and hit caliprocure.ca.gov, and on the top it says quick links. And you notice there's this little white triangle to the right, gives you a drop down, and we want to find bid opportunities. That's the CSCR, California State Contracts Register. So there are 3 ways that you can do a search. The first is event name. That's another way of saying a keyword, okay? The second is event ID. If you happen to know what the system has called the solicitation, or by department. And you'll notice that there are 3 black lines here. What that means is when you click it, it takes you to the list of all of the agencies. Now, this list is alphabetic. It is not, no, it's numeric, not alphabetic, okay? And so if you're looking for Caltrans, you're not going to find it under C, okay? It's Department of Transportation, okay? That's number 1. And so if I wanted State California Emergency, I would just put in 4 zeros and a 1, hit search, and I would get all of the current solicitations for that agency. Okay? I agree with you, sweetie. Okay, so in my example, I'm putting in this event 18442. And here it is. And now I'm going to download it. Okay? And this is what it looks like. Okay? On the far left has the ID, when it was published, gives you a little description if you really want to, really go into the details or not. Okay? It has here event end date. Every solicitation, I don't care if it's state, federal, local, will have an end date and time. 2:15 at exactly 2 p.m. Okay? It's got to be in the hands of the agency. Okay, now, I've been doing this 13 years. I've got a few tricks up my sleeve. Okay? So, I need to fax it because this is up in, it's up in the north area, okay? And I can't get there, okay? So, and the exception here is the contact information that they actually have a phone number. 99% of these solicitations will not have a phone number, and that's for your protection, okay? But I'll explain about that later. But I call, I get an email, I get Bob Fisher on there. He gives me the fax number, okay? So it's 5 minutes to 2. I hit start on my fax machine. It ends at 2 minutes after. I started at 5 till, and it ended at 2 minutes after. Is that a current quote? Yes or no? No, right? Remember, it's the end time on the fax, not the beginning time. So in this case, you'd want to do it 10 till, okay? Give you 3 minutes pad, okay? So remember that if you are in that situation. And that is any quote for any agency, okay? So we have view event package. We can post ads for free. We can view all the vendor ads, okay? And then we have the contact information. Like I said, 90% of the time, you will not have the phone number. And here's why, okay? I call them, okay? And I say, hey, I have something to discuss with you. I'm going to give you a detailed information of what I found wrong in this solicitation. So I send him the email, okay? And he writes back, Wayne, you're right, okay? But he doesn't change it, okay? So it goes through the process. Someone gets awarded it, right? And I go, this is baloney. I showed you there was an error. You agreed with me. I've got proof. You sent me an email, right? But you didn't do anything. You were too friggin' lazy. So I protest it, okay? So we're in front of the judge, and the judge says, what's the problem? And I tell him exactly what the problem was. I sent him an email. I have an email saying that I was right, but he still didn't change it. And he says to Bob here, is that correct? Right? And then the judge says to me, do you have proof of that? And I say, oh, this email? Yeah, I do. And he goes, case won by you, Wayne. Bob rebid it. Contact whoever you awarded it to and say, I'm sorry, but we have to rebid it because of extenuating circumstances, or whatever excuse he wants to give for being lazy, okay? But you see, if I said just a phone call, there's no written proof, and you need proof. That's why you have the email. And like I said, I'm just surprised. I'm kind of happy that he did do that, just to show you that that is the exception, okay? Now, pre-bid conference. How many people are in construction? Anyone? A couple people? Okay. Caltrans is excellent in having mandatory pre-bid conferences. Okay? And so I bring this to your attention because, okay, primes have to come to these pre-bid conferences to bid on. Okay, if they don't come to the conference, the pre-bid, they can't bid on the official solicitation. So what does that mean for you as a small business? Okay, you're going to have 10 or 15 primes in the room, right? So what happens is Caltrans does their 15 or 20 minute expose of the solicitation, asks questions and gives answers as much as they can, right? And then they tell the primes, go to your respective tables. And you as a small business have your capability statement, your resume. Hi, I'm Wayne Gross. Hi, I'm Wayne Gross. Hi, I'm Wayne Gross. Please fly me. Okay? You have them right there. Okay? Caltrans is excellent in having that. So use it, abuse it, because people call me up all the time. Who are the District 11, which is San Diego, right? Caltrans. Who are the primes? I don't know. Contact your advocate. They should be able to tell you who the primes are, because in construction, there's only a select amount of people, big companies who can build roads or whatever the construction is. Okay? So this is a list of the different attachments for this solicitation. Word to the wise, read the solicitation. Put it down, wait a day, reread it, okay? The biggest complaint is signing documents, okay? this one right here, this one, and this one all require a signature, okay? The biggest complaint why you weren't even in the running is because you forgot to put your friggin' signature on one of the pieces of paper, okay? And people go, well, that'll never happen to me. If it's our biggest complaint, it happens all the time, okay? Okay, this is placing an ad. Here again, we have the KISS principle, okay? If you can't fill this form out, okay, to post an ad, you're in deep kimchi, okay? Because all the red asterisk items, right? Your name, your email, your phone, you give yourself a title and you put in a description. In the description, it's 2,000 characters, not words, but characters. So once you start typing, it goes 1998, 97, 96, okay? So you can't run out of space, okay? This is just my own preference, but always start out with your supplier ID number. Why? Number one, it identifies you. Number two, the prime is going to go to your profile, look you up. First thing they're going to do is see if you're current in your certification or not. Okay? If you're within 3 months of recertifying, okay, 90 days prior to your 2 years, you will get, the system generates an email saying, hey, you can get certified now. Okay? Get certified so that that date changes from let's say 3 months from today to today you're current, so you're good for another 2 years, okay? So just be aware of that. Okay, and the last thing they talk about are the UNSPSC codes that are being used on that specific solicitation. So we're going to go back to Cali Procure, and under quick links, the last one says find past purchases, skippers. I love this. It takes you to a search engine, and you can do a search 2 ways. Top right is description. That's a fancy name of saying put in a keyword, okay? Or you can go to the advanced search criteria, and the UNSPSC box shows up. You can put in a code, and in this I would put in an 8-digit code, specific code of what you're doing. Check that little box. And in either way, you can do one or the other. You can't do both, okay? Anyway, you hit search. Now this goes back all the way to December 2015. So you're not going to, you know how Al was showing you stuff and it took a little bit of time before it collected its data and then brought it up. This is slower than that. So I highly recommend that you go to the bathroom, maybe brew yourself a cup of coffee or at least pour one. Maybe walk the dog, it's slow is what I'm saying, okay? It's not going to be this instant, okay? Because it has to go all 6 years in the making. And then, okay, you get this giant Excel spreadsheet, which is so great, okay? You'll notice on the top left, it has the departments, okay? It's got the purchase order, okay? And that's important because if you know that a solicitation is going to expire, let's say in the next 6 months or something like that, you want a copy of the original one. So you contact the buyer, which I will show you, and you give them the purchase order number, okay? And if they ask for anything else, you've got that information. First item, start date, end date, grand total, okay? Supplier ID, if it went to a certified firm, it gives you their name, okay? And all this other information. And probably the most important thing is, okay, by coming to this workshop, you are getting privileged information. I'm going to show you what we call the advocate list. Those are the gatekeepers, okay? Those are the only people that you are supposed to talk to. However, I'm breaking the rule here and showing you you've got a list of the actual buyer of that specific solicitation, okay? So that's the person that that's assigned to that solicitation. So here's another person that you can make contact with, okay? With that saying, what I would do, and let's say it's Michelle Ramos Brown at CDCR. The advocate for that is Nina Martinez, okay? So if I had a question about this specific solicitation, I would email Michelle, I would CC Nina out of respect, okay? And that will go so far, you will not believe it, because you are respecting the chain of command, okay? Yes?
So we have a lot of success emailing people that we find on Skippers.
Okay, good.
But for the people that we don't get responses from, you're recommending CCing Nina Martinez on those emails?
Oh yeah, for sure, yeah. And just say, dear Michelle and Nina, I'm asking questions about this specific solicitation, and Nina, are there any other solicitations like this that you know that you're aware of? Because she's the gatekeeper of all of them. She is in charge of 35 prisons throughout the state, and you're only talking about one with that. You see what I'm saying? So yeah. Yes, ma'am.
So you're mentioning the advocate list.
Well, I'll be showing that. So. Okay, so as you see, you've got the buyer's name and their email. Any other questions on this section? That's the thing I like about asking questions, and then when they get up here, it's like, okay, let's move on. But you do have a question.
Are all the departments required to use this system when they're...
These are all the completed contracts. So every completed contract is in here.
But if, let's say, a certain department needs to do some type of purchasing, would they have to go through out here to do all of the purchasing?
Yes, everything. Yeah, all state departments have to. Yes. And then once it's completed goes into Skippers. Okay? Here we go. Talk about transitioning. The advocates. Okay? These are state employees. Please realize that if you send an email to an advocate and they don't get back to you, for whatever reason, it's because there are certain advocates. Nina is one of them. My advocate, which is Catherine Hill at DGS, it's her full-time job, okay, to do it. The difference between Nina and Catherine, besides Catherine having a doctorate, and we call her doctor, right, is the fact that Nina is only an advocate. She's not a buyer. You're getting privileged information here. Catherine is a buyer for DGS, okay? So you're getting information that most people don't know about, okay? So here we go to Cali Procure. We go down to the box on the far right, training and resources, and the fifth heading, the second one, says contact a small business and DVBE advocate. Okay, and so you click the download the advocate directory, and you get a 237-line Excel spreadsheet of all the advocates. Okay, now, just like you did with the reciprocity partners, right, the Excel spreadsheet, it's mirroring this. Okay, in the fact that you've got the agency, you're going to have the supplier ID number, which this obviously won't have, but you'll have all the contact information. Like Tracy Brown, it's going to give you where she works, her email or fax number, all that, right? Now you notice column C. If you are in the construction field, construction, sir, construction. The only ones you got to contact are the ones with the X in column C. So I just made your job about 60 people easier. Okay? Now, you'll notice that these two are highlighted. Okay? What does that mean? Very simple. We have this thing called the Small Business DVBE option. Okay? And that means that the buyer goes into the database, and anything from $5,000 and a penny up to $250,000 minus a penny for IT and non-IT, and from 5,000 and a penny up to 333,000 for construction, public works, they have to go in and find at least 2 small businesses or 2 DVBEs. Now, this is one of the reasons why you get certified both, because if the buyer's looking for small businesses, you're in that field. Okay, you're on that list. If they're looking for DVBEs, you're on that list. Okay, and so they hire you. Okay, what happens is we get 2 for 1. Okay, I may have hired you on your small business certification because I was looking for just small businesses, right? But you get awarded it, and I get to count you twice. Once as a small business and once as a DVBE. So do you see how that's a little icing on the cake? Okay? So, 5 years ago, our director said that this option was a bunch of baloney. But that's not the word he used behind doors, because I heard him use the word. And so, what we did is we created a first policy. Okay? Did it not seem wise to have people like me come out here and talk to you and lure you into getting certified and showing you the benefits of it, right? Wouldn't it be logical that I work for DGS, right? So if our buyers from DGS are looking for something, they're going to come to you in the database first. So we created the first policy. We dropped that 5,000 and a penny down to 0. So anything from 0 up to 250,000 minus a penny for IT and non-IT goods and services, and 0 up to 333,000 for public works. Okay? So, okay, and I'll use our lovely lady here. Okay? So, everyone highlighted is a first policy person, right? Okay, you said you're construction. So who would be the first people on this list that you'd want to contact? Would you want to contact high-speed rail or California Highway Patrol? CHP, because she's getting 2 for the price of 1, right? She's getting a first policy and construction, okay? So she would just go down until she found another one highlighted in yellow with the X in construction, which happens to be DGS, okay? Like I said, I've been doing this 13 years. I know this list. Okay, now, and for you paying attention on construction, about a month and a half ago, Caltrans came up with their own small business first policy, okay? It's only for small businesses, not DVBEs, but it's from 0 up to 333,000 for all of Caltrans. Okay, it's not highlighted. I want my people to highlight it in it, like green or something like that, just to show people. And then at the very top here, it has here highlighted departments with first policy, and then have a second line. It's small business first for Caltrans. Okay? So, but here again, it gives you more opportunities. Okay? So, okay, that's how that all works. So, why do I bring the advocate list to you? Because they're your new best friends. Okay, it's not what you know, it's who you know, right? Okay, so your job, your mission is, if you're going to deal with Caltrans here in San Diego, okay, you need to know whoever the advocate is, right? You want to deal with CHP, you need to know Tracy. And hopefully she'll come down to an event, hopefully on December 15th. And, you know, and you've talked to her from today on, right? And you ask her, hey, am I going to be down, you know, at Al's event on the 15th of December? And she goes, yeah. And she said, well, I'm going to come and meet you face to face. Yes. That would be you. That you kind of.
Have a section to talk to our advocates
at the summit. At the summit, we'll have tables. Okay, and then as Al was saying, meet the buyers. That will be another way that you'll be able to do it. Okay? Now, I've given you a list of who to talk to. Now I'm going to tell you, yes, sir.
Go back to, because I missed where how you got down that food Cali.
Oh, that's easy. Okay, you go to Cali Procure, scroll down to the bottom right one, the 5th heading, the 2nd bullet, click the Advocate Summary button, and there you go. The KISS principle again. Okay, it's only easy because I know this frontwards, backwards, and everything in between too. So, okay, now I'm going to tell you what to say. It's called the 30-second elevator speech. This is used universally. Okay, 4 items, and I tell people to write it down. Your full name, your company name, your supplier ID number, and what you sell. And it will go something like this. Good morning, Tracy. My name is Wayne Gross. I'm with ABC Fence Company. I'm certified as a small business. My supplier ID number is 1752943, and I build fences, be it chain link, cement block, or wood. Can you help me? Short, sweet, and to the point, right? Did you notice that I slowed down when I gave her my supplier ID number, right? All the advocates have been trained to assume that when that phone rings, it's you calling, okay? So they better have a piece of paper and pencil. So if they're grabbing whatever, by the time I get down to the supplier ID number, okay, they've got it written down. And the next thing is you should hear them typing that they're pulling up your profile and looking at it, okay? This is used not only on the state. If you're dealing with feds, 8A, the procurement officer that you're talking to, you do the same thing. You know, if you, does 8A have a supplier ID number? An ID, yeah, because they're going to look up in that database. That's how this all works, okay? So, the KISS principle, right? The last thing is a resume. It's called a capabilities statement. So if you Google capabilities, plural, statement examples, you will get this link right here. And so this is all public access. So steal someone's work. I know you're leaving, go ahead. So anyway, so you know, you can pull it up and you can save it and then you can create your own, you know. People have done, you know, all this hard work. Steal from them. Why not, right? So this is what a capability statement looks like, okay? There are 3 rules. Number 1, 1 page. It can be double-sided, but no more than 1 page. We do not want the Gettysburg Address, okay? Second, make sure that you have your certifications on there. And you'll notice here, okay, the first one he has is our small business certification, okay? And he's got the number and who it's from, okay? He's also DVBE, supplier ID number for Caltrans, okay? And he's got all these different ones, okay? And then he's got this one for CMAS. Since he's got a little space there, that's okay. My recommendation would be under the small business, I would put the CMAS under it. That's just my own thing, but the way he separated is fine also. Okay, that's just personal, okay? But anyway, you have all that. So when you go to Al's event and you're meeting with someone who is on the federal side, you hand them your certification, and the first thing they're going to look at, oh, you're woman-owned, okay? So they take that capability statement back to their office. They pull up that database, put in your supplier ID number, and there you are, okay? Here again, it's not what you know, it's who you know. When you send your capability statement to a buyer, an advocate, okay, they're going to send it internally to their buyers, okay? And so you want to make sure that you are that you stay in contact with these people. I say once a month, okay? And, okay, the biggest gripe I get is there's 235 possibilities, okay? And out of that, you get 3 responses. That's it, okay? Let's say it's Monday, okay, and you actually get talking with 3 people, okay, consider yourself lucky, okay? Advocates have other duties, okay, except for a few, okay? So, by Thursday, you send out another email saying, you know, who you are. This time, give them your supplier ID number, okay? They can at least look you up, right? Okay? If you haven't heard anything in a week, send them another email and say, but this time, please check your email. I just sent you my capability statement. Please review it and let's talk, okay? You've done everything physically possible. I can't go up to Nina Martinez and knock her head and say, why didn't you call her? You know what I'm saying? So, but this is all the things that you can actually do, okay? And the last thing is your UNSPSC codes. And do you notice I have all parent codes and I have the description, okay? Now, because this guy's federal, he has SIC codes and NAICS codes, okay? And in both, they've got the code and the description, okay? You give me your capability statement, I'm familiar with a lot of the UNSPSC codes. But if I have a brain freeze and go, I don't know that code, I've got the description to describe what you're doing, okay? Or you give it to someone who's brand new at the job, don't even know what a NAICS code is, okay? You're at least describing what you can do. Any questions on that? Okay, we're going to now go back to Cali Procure. Like I said, you see why you make it a favorite? Make it easy. We're going to get certified, and it has here in-state contracting. Okay, it says here, learn about public bidding, and we're going to talk about the acquisition flyer. I love this. This is the methods on how we buy. Okay, and we have what they call leverage procurement agreements, of which I'm going to talk about one in particular called the California Multiple Award Schedule, okay? Now, has anyone ever heard of the GSA? Okay. That is that's how the feds buy, okay? Now, it's a 125 to 150 page application and takes up to 2 years for the feds to buy or to approve. How many people want to put that time and effort in? Good, because our version, called California Multiple Award Schedule, is 5 pages, and we're down to 45 days in approval. Okay, which one sounds a little more, yeah, enough said. So, but here's the gotcha. Our rules say you have to have a GSA schedule. What? It doesn't say it has to be your own. So what happens is I suffer through the 150-page application. I get approved by the feds. It goes into a public electronic library for all the federal buyers to go in and find me. Okay? So you want to get certified. Okay? So you're going to call that number 916-375-4363 or 4365 unless you're in construction. And if you are, don't listen to what I'm saying. You can't do it. Okay? You're going to call them. You're going to give them your name and your number and your supplier ID, and you're going to tell them what you sell. Okay? And you're going to say, can you help me? Okay? They will spoon feed you, people. They are there to get you a CMAS contract. Okay? So what's really good about it is they, like I said, they will help you. You have a contact in their office so that if you have any questions, that you'll have a direct person to talk to if you have any questions. Okay? Once you get certified, you get put into our CMAS database. Okay? Now, why am I bringing this to your attention? Your state certification is good with state agencies. It's also a foot in the door with your reciprocity partners. CMAS is used by state agencies, the reciprocity partners. listen to this, cities, counties, school districts, community colleges, the UC and the CSU systems. Do you think I could put some money in your wallet with those 8? You see what I'm saying? So, my job is to give you every opportunity. What you do with it is up to you. I tell the story of a retired police officer in Sacramento. He served his country and got a disability. But it wasn't severe enough to, that he couldn't get hired by and retire by Sacramento City Police. I got him certified small business in DVBE, and then he goes, I said, what do you do again, Mike? And he told me, and I said, you need to contact our CMAS people. So he did, okay, and I didn't hear from him for about 2 years, okay? Oh, the one thing I forgot to tell you what he did. The last 5 years before he retired, he was a CPR instructor for the city of Sacramento. So all the cops had to get CPR trained. Well, Yolo County, their police department needed it. So he went over there, right? Placer County needed it. You see what I'm getting at? They all knew who Mike was, right? Anyway, I don't see him for about 2 years. I'm at an event in Sacramento talking to this woman. Mike is 6'7", okay? So you know when he walks in the door, you know, he's around, right? I have a picture of him with all his, you know, his vest and guns and everything. He had to have to open both doors to get through. Just this big man, right? Anyway, so he comes up behind me, and the woman that I'm talking to, her eyes go above mine up to his, right? And he's kind of scowling at, you know, and I could feel his presence, and I turn around, Mike, how are you, right? And he goes, hey, Gross, and he said, I'm going to use PO, but you understand, I'm PO'd at you, right? And I said, hold that thought. I completed my thought with who I was talking to, and he came around, right? You know, I gave him a hug, and I said, and why are you PO to me? He goes, you know that CMAS contract you told me to get? I said, yeah. He goes, do you remember I told you I'm retired? I wanted to work 1, maybe 2 days a week? I said, yeah. He goes, I have to turn away business because everyone knows him. Okay, like I said, all the different counties, he trained them when he was as a cop, and now he's doing it as a private citizen. I said, oh, I'm sorry, I'm putting money in your wallet, right, you know. So the whole point is, if there is something that you can sell, you know, to the state, or cities, counties, school districts, community colleges, the UC or the CSU systems, go for it, okay? So, and like I said, I'm sorry, but if you're in construction, the chances are you may not be able to do it. Contact them, though. Let them tell you no, okay? Here again, another story. I was in Corona, and I'm giving a presentation like this, and the lady said, and I gave her the list of all the things, and she goes, but I have a GSA, and it was for something with that the prisons do. And so I said, I'm going to tell you what I tell everyone else. Go talk to our people and let them see if you qualify, right? Well, if you got a GSA, you qualify in our system, duh, right? But I said, give me your name and your number and your GSA schedule, okay? And so I went up and I talked to our people, and they go, Wayne, yeah, she can get qualified, okay? It's the one exception to, our program, okay? But I didn't know that. It's not my responsibility to know that. I can't know everything, but I can tell you, talk to these people. They are the experts. They're the ones who you're going to fill out the application and get approved or not approved. So, okay? And here's the end of it. You see the different acquisitions message. You've got an RFQ, RFI, the IFB, the RFP. It gives you all the information just on a nice piece of paper that gives you the different ways that we can buy. Okay, we have this thing called the dashboards, and this is really good to do some research, okay? And there are 6 different dashboards: department spend, UNSPSC spend, leverage procurement agreement spends, the top 10 department spend, top 10 UNSPSC spend, and certified small business spend comparisons. And so if you go, to dgs.ca.gov, in the search engine, put in dashboards, and the first one says the dashboards. And here are all 6, and all you do is click one of them, and it pulls it up. Okay? Good information if you're trying to do some research of, who are the top people buying. Okay? Okay, CUF, commercially useful function. Okay, they're the laws that govern it. What CUF is all about: executing a distinct element of the work, performing, managing, or supervising the work, performing work that is normal for the firm's business, services, and functions, negotiating price, determining quality and quantity, ordering, installing, and making payment, not subcontracting a portion of the work greater than expected by industry practices. Okay, here what CUF ain't. An extra participant in a transaction, contract, or project through which funds are passed in order to obtain the appearance of a small business DVB partner participation. What I mean by that is, here's my brother-in-law. I know he's certified as a DVBE. Okay, what's your first name?
Mike.
Okay, I say, give Mike a conversation. Mike, I need DVB participation. All I want is to use your supplier ID number. Okay? I'll slip you $5,000 under the table once I get paid on this. Okay? Do you think that happens? All the time. Okay? Damn you, Mike. Okay. Not being used to perform the work as stipulated in the bid, and no longer used to provide goods and services listed in the initial bid. Okay? So, like I said, Mike's my brother-in-law. Okay? So we have different last names, right? Okay? He's married to my sister, right? Okay, well, love didn't last, okay? She got a divorce, okay? Well, he's PO'd, not only at her, but me, just through association, right? Well, he was legitimately doing the job that I hired him to do, okay? But he goes, I'm just stopping work, okay? So, I can't replace him, okay? I call him, I email him, I send, the guards to him, and nothing, okay? So I have to contact the administrator of the solicitation and say, hey, look, here's my DVBE. He's just stopped work, okay? And so they have to go through their process of trying to contact Mike and, and rectify it, right? And if not, then they send him a letter saying, okay, as of today, you are no longer a part of the contract, and then we have to go find another DVBE to replace him. Okay, it's just not black and white type thing. Okay? So don't do that. Okay. Any questions on this? Yes, ma'am.
Does that work for if you were like a subprime?
That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about him being a sub.
So if you were a subprime and let's say they don't, you had an agreement that you were going to purchase a certain amount.
Right.
And they don't do that. Is there like a 5-year period that they have to make that purchase?
Well, the thing is, they always have an end date of their contract, okay? And so if you have problems as a sub, don't come to us because our agreement is with the prime, okay? And so that's a battle with you and your attorney possibly may have.
They don't cancel the contract just because they don't fulfill your contract.
Right. Well, what we're trying to do is we're trying to make everything legitimate for the prime as well as the sub. And so let's say it's a year process, right? Every month, the prime has to send the administrator a report of what they did, for, how the project is continuing, including DVBE sub work, et cetera.
So if there's none, but they have technically, let's say it's a 2-year contract, they have that 2 years.
2 years to, yeah. And you knowing that, okay, they're building a building and they haven't contacted you for cement.
Right.
Hello? Where are they getting the cement? That kind of thing. So, yeah, and here again, that's something that you would have to legally pursue if something was wrong.
That's the conversation I personally had with him. That is the dilemma. The only reason that Prime got it is because they found you.
Right.
Now, there's two things to be concerned about, is funds disbursement. So if it's $1 million contract, we represent 5% of that, but if the state only buys 90%, more likely, we're not going to be engaged, okay? So I've been talking to the folks at the states, that's got to change, put us in the front. But to this point, if you're selling contract, and you know their point, the law mandates that to be serviced, okay? And if you're not getting through, definitely that's what I'm here for, is say, okay, let's figure out why that's happened. It happens. But if the small business feels intimidated or you get the runaround, it's our voice that matters. Okay? That's going to get.
That's right.
So it's getting better. I think the state changed a little bit.
That's why I said they're reporting that the Prime has to do a monthly update so everyone knows what's going on. Yeah. And like I said, if they...
The simplest fix is Clam is the guilty party. We will market, promote, claim at no cost to him of his fraudulent activities, okay?
Yeah.
That's how you satisfy your pain and his gain. And you can only do that with volume. Again, to that 3% question, if we're not connecting together to learn how to pull him down, he needs to know it's not just you he's impacting, but all of us.
That's correct, yeah. You're all in this together.
And that's how we solve that, okay?
Okay, the last thing was our emergency registry, okay? It's been out now less than a month, okay? If you were certified, you should have gotten an email from us, okay? And here's what it's all about. COVID, the fires, okay? So the buyers needed product now, not a week from now, but now, okay? And so that's what this register is all about, okay? It's totally divorced from Cali Procure. It is going to be used by all state buyers. And there are two ways of doing it. One is your section as the small business, and the other is the buyer. Two registrations, okay? And so it said it took him 20 minutes because what you want to do is you want to describe in detail, put all the key words that you can use in what you're trying to sell us, okay? And so it's quick turnaround, okay? If you can't do it, okay, and we'll say, hey, okay, here's my situation. I need masks, okay? And you do the 95 and masks, okay? I need 1 million delivered, what's today? Wednesday, right? By next Monday. Can you do that for me? Okay? It's short, sweet, and to the point. Okay? If you can do it, we got you hired. And you're part of our database, our small business DVBE. And so that agency gets to count you, right? Because what was happening was, we needed something, we needed it quick. No one in the database could do it because they could do it, but they didn't have the right keywords, for example, okay? So they went to the big boys because they knew the big boys could do it, okay? And so my department said, no, you come to us first. I'm trying to promote you guys in the database. So let's come to you first. But of course, we have restrictions. You got to be able to react now, okay? No, it'll be a direct. I need 1 million face masks.
Not bidding it out.
Right, yeah. They're just saying, hey, can you provide it? What's your price? And, if it's a legitimate price, because they're going to know, they'll have, and let's say you're so way off, right? You may call him, that kind of thing, you know what I mean? So, but like I said, it is Johnny on the spot, okay? And then, like I said, the buyers will have their own registration, and then they'll be able to connect to you in the database, okay? And like I said, unlike Cali Procure, this portal will only use businesses that provide goods and services from predetermined emergency categories, okay? And you should be currently ready and able to support the state of California in an emergency. Emergency contracting requires fast, around-the-clock turnaround times. A business should not register unless they are fully capable of immediately providing the goods or services they list. And here are some of the categories, okay? And you need your certification number, the emergency categories, the description of products and services, and you put every friggin' thing you can think of, okay? Your business address, and then contact information, both primary and emergency. And here is the link, okay? I've also, you can get more information at that second one. I've got, which we're going to talk about here in a minute, this piece of paper. On the back side, I've put the emergency link there for you, so you have it. So, resources. We have the SBDC that the former speaker talked about, okay? It's for business consulting, business planning, marketing, and access to capital. The PTACs, the Procurement Technical Assistance Centers, government contracting. San Diego, PTAC, there are two of them. One is for San Diego, Imperial, and Orange County, and the other is out of Mira Costa College. Both are excellent places to go for information. It's all free, okay? And then we have SCORE, which is for newer businesses, and it's mentorship, okay? So what we talked about today was the DVBE program, the small business development centers, the state certifications, the benefits, registration and certification, our keywords and the UNSPSC codes, current bids, past purchases, skippers, the advocates, CMAS, California Multiple Award Schedule, CUF, and finally the emergency registration. So we would like, we want to know how you're doing. We want to hear success stories. Yes, sir. Sure. That one? Okay. You realize that's being taped, so you'll be able to go to. I'll post it, yeah.
Let me tell you why what he said is critical, okay? Visibility is through viewership. We're taping this to get more views, to raise the bar of participation. So I encourage you, just like when you watch the news, the topic, go to NBC.com and find it. They're looking for you to walk in their virtual door, okay? So everything here is developed virtually. We're taking this for that reason.
Right.
So you take these pictures, that's cool, but guess what you won't feel? Walking out virtual door, okay? So think in those terms as a business owner. How do you get them to the online, less cost, more efficient? You're doing some groundwork, footwork somewhere else while your electronic virtual world is constantly upgrade, okay? So take pictures, but go to the video post event, okay?
Okay. Anyway, we want to know success stories, okay? And, and I like to take it a step further. If you've got problems, you've been trying to get your first contract, okay? It took him 6 years to get a major contract, okay? But it was a big one, right? Okay? But he was persistent, okay? I've been doing this 13 years, so 12 years ago, Sac State did a research paper on the small business and how long it would take to get your first contract. And on the average, it took a small business 7 to 8 times before they got their first contract, okay? I've been to events like this, and the following week I get a call saying, Wayne, I got a contract. Okay, it happens, you happen to be at the right place at the right time with the right product, okay? And I say, congratulations, go with it, right? And it's not what you know, it's who you know. You've made that contact with, let's say, Tracy Bowen from CHP, And you go, Wayne was right, you know. And so she's going to be at the December event. So, you know, so Nina will not be.
That right there, let's secure contracts together, okay? Prime is what most small businesses want to do, but subby is where all the action's at, okay? And due to COVID, a lot of small businesses weren't connected, but they were looking for contracts with a group of us, not just one of us, okay? When I was talking to Dalton at the league, I met him a few years back, $300,000 annual revenue. I asked him what it is now, $10 million. Because he stepped up for the COVID-19 stuff. That means if we can do it, you guys can do it, right? But if you're not connecting and we're not doing this together, and we're not making viewership on our virtual, we're not going to get any visibility our way. And that's the whole idea. How do we get you visibility for the points we're not? And that's what this is all about, okay? But any more questions for Wayne?
On this part. Okay, what I'm going to do now is, I thought I sent the PowerPoint for my next presentation, but we don't have it, so I have to do it live. Okay? This will change your world, people. So let me, okay, come on.
Can you send that to you guys and you can go out now? And in the meantime, while you're scrambling about, any questions at all? You guys have any questions? You know, why are you here today? I'll start with Kelly.
So we just got our DVBE, and my brother and I started our construction. Been 30 years of construction, and after our father passed, we went on our own. Very excited, wanting to learn. If you don't learn every day something new, I probably will be working till 11 o'clock tonight, excited about this.
Good.
Okay, next.
My name is Ray Claremont. I work with Expeditionary Technical Solutions. We're based in San Diego. We predominantly do testing and engineering type support service, IT services, both for the federal government and for the state of California.
I'm Mike Vega, project controls and construction scheduling. I've been more successful getting federal work than state. That's why I came to here today. And I made some beautifully colossal errors. I said SBDC thinking that was for public works people. I didn't realize it was size.
Size-wise, yeah, right. But the thing is, though, but you are included in the SB. So if someone is looking for construction, okay, the SB and the SBPW both will come up. And you're treated as a small business, even though you exceed the 100 and the 15 million.
I want to take your advice.
Yeah.
With her?
I'm with him.
Okay.
There's three of us in our company.
Okay.
My name is Patrick Lawson. I'm certified state swiper. Here really to get a little bit more information. I've worked with Wayne before on getting the certification. And it's very true what he said about the 5 pages. It really makes a difference if you cut down a lot of that. But again, here really to get a little bit more information here to continue to work the business and to get a little bit more connected.
Good, good.
Okay.
Mike?
Me and my partner Steve, Global Prolific Ventures, we do medical supplies, equipment, PPP. We started earlier in the year, and we're here to, you know,
Learn more. Medical supplies,
options.
CDCR. If you haven't gone to Nina Martinez, yeah. So 35 different prisons throughout the state. You know, if you can mail, you know, Motrin.
We're working on the RFQ system, and it's up for bid.
Okay.
It's like people are working on really small margins. We're just trying to figure out that
Yeah.
spot.
Well, the thing is, though, you know, everything under,
Steve, I spoke to you on the phone about the margins, right?
yeah. And the thing is, you realize when they use the small business DVB option or first policy, okay, those aren't publicized. That's why you need to call Tracy or Jim or Bob or whoever at the different agencies and find out, you know, they're the go-to people. They are supposed to know what's going on. Or they could go like with Nina, okay, what's the prison down here? Whatever it is, I can't remember. Yeah, it's in the middle of nowhere, 5 miles away from the Mexican border. I did a workshop there. But anyway, you know, she's going to be able to say, contact this person there, because I know for a fact, that they need whatever you're trying to sell there, that kind of thing.
So we work on a bid system though, so we're working on typically other vendors in the like-minded state that we are. And, typically we're kind of cannibalizing each other is what I'm seeing. They're working on, really tight margins to justify winning that bid. So
Right, yeah.
We're trying to explore kind of.
Yeah.
Well, Steve, I think I told you on the phone, the margin is driven on your profit margin, correct? Market penetration sometimes is low, just to get in, and one contract, next year, it slowly prices up. So volume is better than onesies and twosies, right? So there's a lot of strategies you got to play with, because the government's reason for buying from us is to serve the public at the least amount of cost, okay? So if you're going to sell to the government, you got to do it with a sense of community service, because if they buy high, they can only reach so many of the public they serve. So the whole concept of registering with the state or the federal is to have a bigger inventory, an increase of the 10%, but inventory is so small that it's tough. So the onus is on us to reach out to other folks, get them to register, because it's the inventory of us that really drives the policy on what they pay for something. And you get preference points. And preference points goes against the cost, and let's go up 5%. Some county roads, for example, if you bid 105 and you're a preference point, and Mike bids, 100 low point, the 105 is going to win it. So you got to know how to navigate that process based on your designation of a business owner. So profit margin is what I sell for on the commercial side. But when I sell to the government, I'm going to give a deep discount. But I'm going to put in my invoice, $100,000, 20% discount. Another $5 if you pay me day one when I'm due paid, because it's a net payback. So those are the things you got to play with. But get to know the folks he's talking about in the state.
Right. That's right.
Next.
Sir, I'm Roy, and my wife Janice Guerrero. We're kind of like the same situation with them. We're trying to bid for medical supplies, janitorial, PPE, but we're pretty new with the system.
Yeah.
We don't even have supplier yet. You know what I'm saying? So we're trying to pick everybody's brain here, see how we can.
For you, you definitely need to contact the advocates. That is your starting point. Okay.
Or listen to Steve and Mike here, because you can be an extension of them. They're looking for leads. You're coming in the door. I outsource a lot because it's better than pay labor. So think in those terms. You got to think of different ways to enter that market and realize that when you do it together, he's now your mentor, if you will, and then you can sell more volume by having 4 people instead of 2 people.
Yeah. Also, if you two don't exchange business cards today, shame on you.
Or text.
Or text or whatever. Get your numbers, whatever. Seriously, because he may be your pot of gold. You know what I'm saying? So you never know. Or enemy. Oh, look at that. Enemy.
Even better.
Which is even, yeah.
Get anything close, get closer to your enemy. Okay?
That's true, yeah.
Ma'am?
Emma Connie. We actually do janitorial medical supplies.
Okay.
You actually helped us get a few contracts through.
This whole front row should be a team.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The VA, like hospice in Fresno.
Oh, okay.
We do the medical supply. Through your help, actually, we
Ah.
got started right before COVID, so it was like a perfect time.
Good. Yeah. And ma'am.
We actually got encouraged by them.
Oh, okay, good.
There you go. So what you doing?
That's what we started doing.
Hi, everyone. I'm Charlene Downey, and I do executive leadership coaching and training. So I've been doing it in the corporate role, but now...
CMAS. CMAS is what you want.
Okay.
Yeah, and what happens too is, like with my example of Mike doing the CPR, he got more business from CMAS than he did his state certification. Okay, but that didn't mean that he actually did get 1 or 2 from his small business certification, but his bread and butter was CMAS. So that's what I'm saying, get both, okay? So, what I'm gonna, what do you do, sir?
Tony Johnson, my company is Clam. We do operational technology networking. We do the entire infrastructure for SCADA systems, manufacturing systems. We've been in business since 2013. We're a DVBE. We're also a small business.
Okay. Okay, good. I'm happy you said that you were both. Yes.
Next to me. Hi, my name is Keith Tilk, and my company is Southland HR Services. And we provide staffing, executive recruitment, temporary staffing, employment services.
So you're saying CMAS?
Now,
Yep.
let me interrupt you with the last one. DGS now has a LinkedIn page, and they have like 5 new hires they're looking for. Okay. And if you get your candidates, your job for them is to find that opportunity.
Yes.
Are you hooked up with LinkedIn and following DGS?
I'm on LinkedIn. I got to find out more about it.
And that's the point of today, okay? There's so much activity out there, and we tend to get overwhelmed, particularly since you're a coach. When you're coaching something, you tell them to breathe, pace yourself, because it's a wealth of information out there.
Yeah.
But when I hear someone like that and I ask them a dumb question, DGS has 5, and 2 of them IT money, okay? But why is it this place the first time he hears about that? Okay, and I have 16,000 followers on LinkedIn, and I'm doing likes and communicate because I want to pass on the information. So definitely want to connect with all you afterwards.
Yes.
But jobs are created by us connected together.
That's right.
And you may not get the return if they hire, because the DGS won't pay for hire, but you get your name out there. Okay? Yeah, I went over to this guy here and he got me down with DGS. No one knows who they pay, didn't pay, but if you don't get your brand out there, going back to pricing points and underbidding, you got to find out how the case studies from the beginning, everything was free. Now we're all hooked up. It ain't free no more, okay? That's a business model. Free is merely a business plan to saturate your inventory and then realize you got enough branding to say, I can't afford to be free no more. And they're going to say, man, you did good. How do I pay?
Mm-hmm.
And that's long-term planning, okay? So,
Okay.
thank you for not having your stuff. We got to meet everybody.
Yeah, and now we get to talk about this. Okay, what I'm going to talk about, I've been doing weekly updates on this thing. So are you going to be leaving? I am. All right, that's what I figured. That's why I wanted to say that. Email me and say, I need the training, okay? Especially if you hear it now and you go, this is nice, I've got the instructions here that I'm going to be following, okay? But the more you hear this and do what I tell you to do, the more it becomes second nature to you, okay? And I'm hoping that the link they send me actually works. So, okay. So,
Wait, let me throw this out there.
yeah.
So recently, we were a DVE certified small business. We followed Wayne's advice and sent our capability statement to the advocates. Every single one of the advocates has responded to us.
Oh.
And have added us to their database.
Right.
And now we're getting solicitations, probably 2 or 3 a day, no kidding. So those advocates, the advocate list that he recommended, I think it's very worthwhile.
It's not what you know, it's who you know. Because what happens is you send your capability statement to them, okay, they have all the emails of all of their buyers. And let's say you want to do CAL FIRE. Do you know how many buyers are at CAL FIRE statewide? Okay, 2,000, 3,000, just there. Okay, you talk Caltrans. Guarantee there's 300 or 400 minimal, okay, depending on, Caltrans has 12 districts and headquarters. Okay, so that's 13 phone calls you got to make, if that's what you want. If you only want to deal with San Diego, then you contact the advocate for San Diego. And maybe you want to expand maybe into Imperial County or Riverside or LA, you know what I'm saying? Then you contact those people. Okay, so we're going to be at Cali Procure. I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to log in. Okay, and I am putting in Okay, and the password is outreach 707. Okay, let's pray. Okay, that one didn't work. Let me try it. This one should work. Test 6. And please work. Oh, what's wrong?
Get it all, Wayne, that's what's wrong, you know.
Let me do this. Oh, I know why. Because it has to be all caps. No, come on. TEST 6. Yep. And now, WELCOME. Add 2. Okay. No! Why isn't it working? Let me try one more time. That's not working. Let me try another one here. Add 2.
Sounds like me, right?
Welcome at 2. None of these are working. One last try. TEST CO.
It's a website that my brother was texting me saying, why is my password not working?
Really?
So, yes, so I just turned my phone back on and he's been texting me like crazy. I guess he's trying to get on there. I told him to use mine and it's not working for him either, so it might be the website.
Well, this is the last try. It's not working. I'm sorry. Okay. Anyway, like I said, you have my email address. I highly recommend that you send me an email and get it. Matter of fact, I'll tell you when my next session is.
You're going to be in November.
Right, yeah, but I highly recommend if you're certified, you get this done today. Or you send me the, okay, we're in October. Let's see, not there.
So what was it you were going to show us?
Updating your California profile, these instructions. Okay, next Thursday at 1 o'clock. Okay, you email me, I send you the link. Okay, and then I go over that, and then I also review the advocates, the 30-second elevator speech, the capability statement, the and CMAS, and the emergency. So, okay. Oh, I know. One thing I want to show you right now. Go ahead. What's your question, sir?
Sometimes we're given bids where, let's say this usually they're trying to get three bidders, and then one bid, and 2 are non-responsive, and then we're awarded the bid because the 2 other didn't respond.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say that happens again, then the biddee has to rebid it out to get 2 more bidders.
Right.
Why is there such a difference where one time there was only 1 bidder with 2 non-responsive and awarded the bid, but the second time around they flip it where it's like you can't Do we have to find another?
It was probably the way it was being pursued, okay? That's why, like I said, with Cali Procure, they have to, it's like with CMAS too, they have to get 3 bids, okay? If 2 don't bid and you're the only one that replies, you get it. And that's probably what happened there. Okay?
And then when you bid again and then 2 are not responding,
Then what they have to do,
they ask for another rebid.
right, they have to do that because it was a formal bid. That's why. Okay, if you go to Cali Procure here and click the Find Training and Resources, they just added this under Inside State Contracting. It has here, learn about the Small Business DVB Emergency, and you click on it, and it takes you there. And this explains everything in detail. The actual start registration, okay, is right there. Okay, and explains everything that you need to know. Oh, and here are all of the categories that we're looking for, if nothing else. So, how does a qualified certified business register? Yes, sir.
So on the left side, you have their State Department. Look right there.
What are we looking at?
So registry information for state, what is that?
That's for the buyers.
Oh,
Okay, like I said, there's 2 registrations, one for you guys and one for the buyers. Okay, because remember the buyers are all over the state. Okay, so if CAL FIRE down here is looking for a water tank, you know, they'll. What happens? I've seen the results, and they put in water tank, and it's an Excel spreadsheet comes up with all the people that do water tank, and it has all your information on there, and then they can contact you directly. Okay, I apologize that this isn't here, but if nothing else, you're stuck with me for one more workshop. It's about an hour of your time, but I guarantee it will behoove you to listen to it, update, because what happens is when I look at your profile and I look at your keywords, if you don't have a giant list, and I mean 1 word per line, I don't want to see a paragraph. I don't want to see 2 or 3 words per line. I want 1 word per line. I want the singular, not the plural. Okay? And you don't have to repeat words. Okay? You just have to say it 1 time because it's a Google search. A buyer puts in office supplies. Okay? That's the one exception. I tell people, I've never heard of an office supply when I'm looking for pens, right? It's always office supplies, right? But I tell people, put office, supplies, and supply, because I want the singular on that, okay? There are probably a couple other words that you always use the plural, not the singular, so put the plural and the singular, okay? I had this one guy who had 150, he had used the computer for some program that gave him 150 different words for what he did, right? Well, I'm going to show you how to plagiarize, okay? It's public access, okay? So my whole theory is you're only as good as your competition, right? So if he has a word in his keywords that you don't have, and the buyer puts in that word that he has, you missed out on an opportunity. And you're 10 times better than he is, okay? But you missed out on that opportunity because you didn't have that stupid word that he has and he's getting all the business. Okay, that's the whole thing. So I teach you how to do that, and I teach you how to update it. Okay, because this isn't brain surgery, people. Okay, it's just you just have to know how to do it. That's all, and that's my job, is to make this as easy as possible. Like I said, I've been doing this for 13 years. I could do it in French. I'm certified to teach in French, so I could probably do it in French. I probably could do it backwards if I had to, if I had to think about it. Yes, sir.
So the keyword search, is it just for solicitation, or
No, it's for everything. It's especially for the stuff under 250,000 or 333,000 for public works. Okay, but like I said, it's getting all those words that identify what you can sell. And if you're doing janitorial supplies, how many janitorial supplies are there, huh? Right, a lot. And you need to list every friggin' one of them, okay? Because I may look for Ajax. I'm just, right, but I've got to, the prison down here by the border, they only want to use Ajax. They don't use Comet. It has to be Ajax, So you put that kind of stuff in there, right? Huh? No, that's the whole thing, yeah. This one with 150 has 1,000. You just keep on going down. It's the same way with the UNSPSC codes. You saw that profile. He had, 20, 25 codes. There's no limit to the number, okay? And what I teach you is, okay, you update both your California profile that the world sees that has all of your keywords and your parent codes, right? So then when you're going to create or update your California your capability statement, okay, all you have to do is go into your profile, view UNSPSC codes, and they're all the parent codes and the description, right? And so you highlight that and just paste it right into your capability statement. So all that work is not done in vain. It's all current information. So I'm trying to make your jobs easier. Like I said, I've been doing this for 13 years. The last 5 have been with Cali Procure. I've seen the old system. I've seen the new system. This one's better. There's a lot of things that it could be done. I'll leave you with my pet peeve, okay? You're looking at the retired postmaster of Sutter Creek, California. I retired 18 years ago, okay? The next day, I started a state job and did that. This is my 4th position, okay, that I've been doing now for 14 of the 18 years. Anyway, when we went to this Cali Procure, they said, we need to have outreach be there, okay? We weren't there for the old system, right? And we all said, look, I'm out here facing you guys, so the more input I can give, in the whole process, just was a logical thing, right? So I go to the first meeting, and they're showing all the different products, right? And they're looking at the addresses. On Excel, it's got street address, city, state, zip code, right? Well, it didn't have zip code. It had postal code, okay? And I put up my hand. I said, I don't want to be rude, but I said, I spent the last 22 years of my life with zip codes, okay? Postal codes are Canada, South America, England, the rest of the world. The United States use zip codes, okay? They laughed at me, okay? Do you want to know why? Because the company that created the thing was from Canada, right? So that's my pet peeve from day one with the system, okay? So I found out there's some things you can't change, right? And the thing is, zip only has 3 letters. Postal has 6. I said, I'm saving you space. But, that's my little pet peeve. So anyway, thank you for your time. Hopefully it was informative. And like I said, I will be here again on November 22nd. And on December 15th, I'm bringing the big guns. Okay, I'm bringing our state procurement officer, Angela Schell, and our chief certification officer. Okay, as well as I'll have a coworker. We'll both be exhibiting. I'm going to be doing what I was supposed to be doing. I'm going to do another workshop on that, and we're going to do matchmaking. You're all invited, as Al said. It's free. You can't beat the cost, and it's in person. Okay, this is my 2nd event that I've actually got to go without a mask for a while. So thank you. Safe travels, and if you have any questions or whatever, like I said, the only dumb question is the one you don't ask. You have my contact information.
Present you with a Skin in the Game Champion Award.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah.
You going to say any last words? I'm done.
This is your room to watch.
This is yours, yeah.
do what you want.
It's not,